Hey, this is Sebastian for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I have the pleasure to be joined by
Close Enemies!
Absolute honor to be chatting to you guys today. Close Enemies, then, is a striking name. How does this reflect in the dynamic between yourselves as members, and how does it affect your creative ethos?
Well,
what a great question.
We have become close. We started out as enemies, but we became close.
But we love each other.
Close enemies. I wish we could say there's a real story behind it, other than it was available.
Right. I love the name. I want to congratulate you on the awesome Rain song. That's a silver lining in stormy times. Was there a specific moment or mood that sparked this song?
It's wild how that song came about. These guys presented me the song early on, before I was even in the band, actually, and it kind of encapsulates what I was feeling in that moment. I was feeling very hopeful, and I was excited to meet these guys. Obviously, didn't want to get myself too excited about jumping in the candy store of the talent here. But they had sent me the song, and I had already sang some other songs for them. I had done "Sound of a Train" and some other ones. We were just kind of, they were mulling it over and checking out what they had. And they had sent me this song, and they said, what would you do on this song? Probably checking out my writing skills, or just seeing what I might creatively come up with. And they were like, and I was like, well, would you want me to write the song? And he was like, no, just like scat on it, sing some melodies. And then I got off the phone, and I was like, I can't do that. I gotta go for it. I gotta do more. And I was on another podcast with some other guys. We help run a charity that's very inspirational, and these guys were talking back and forth, and they were talking about what they were going to do for the new year. And one of the cats said, this year we're going to make it rain this year. And mm-hmm. It sparked me, and I had to get off the phone real quick and start in on Close Enemy stuff and get it to these guys in time. And it was just that moment that it hit, and I sang it over the chorus, and it sang perfectly. And I was like, oh God, this could be it. So I sang in my phone and sent it over to Trace, and I was like, I think I might have a hook here, and wrote out the lyrics. But yeah, I mean, the way the world's going, mm-hmm. It's oftentimes it's a struggle, and you got to keep yourself pumped up and moving along. And it was just that kind of vibe, you got to kind of just pick yourself up by the trousers and just tell yourself, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to manifest something great. And that's kind of where that song came from. And it ended up manifesting something great in this situation here. So.
And as far as the music, this song was one of the first that involved all of us, right. Where Trace and our other writer, Gary Steer, our sixth member, had a seed of an idea. We were all at the house here in Atlanta where we rehearse and write. And so they presented the initial idea, which was the whole first verse type form and everything musically. Then I went, well, what about this for the middle section? And Tom's like coming up with his part, and he was throwing in ideas. And then Tony said, well, what about this? and that whole big climatic build. And so the music came together in a day. And then we sent that to Jason to see what he would come up with.
Yeah, they'll take you on a journey.
We had lyrics and melody already on it, if you remember correctly.
That's right.
It was a different melody, and we never let Jason hear it, I don't believe. No. So let's see. We're like, well, let me see what you got, kid. And it's like, let's just put it this way. Once we heard what he had, the other melody wasn't around much longer. It was like, wow, this is very special. We knew we had a special guy when he brought that in. It was like, it just at that point we just locked. We knew that we were all. People always ask us, do you guys argue and fight? And there's a lot of egos, and there is no egos, and we try everything, and everybody wants what's best for the song. So we have no problem. Even if it's silly, we'll try it. And we really do. And it's that song right there, like Peter said, perfect example of every one of us having a bit of that song. And that shows you what we can do.
There's so much to these songs, too. I mean, this is classic rock in its best. These guys take you... ups and it's like a roller coaster, these songs, because there's so many different parts that they go into, and it's kind of like the old school songs that we all love that we don't hear on the radio anymore, where, now everything's 2:15 or 3 minutes long. And these songs give you that chance to go into these crazy bridges, or, these climactic last choruses, or, just a section where these guys are just going off, showing everything they got. It's a lot of fun to write on, I can tell you that.
And it's nice because we don't have to answer to anybody, so we just write one.
Love it. It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I particularly love the way you have sort of like brought the 80s, 70s, 80s more than anything when I was sort of like first getting into music, with a modern twist. And obviously comparisons with Aerosmith and a bit of Black Crowes thrown in there. But it rocks, man, and it's getting rave reviews, and this could be like, you've already made it in the music industry as it is, but this could be like your epitaph. Is that the right word? This could be your, you know what I mean?
Not yet, though, right?
But you know what I mean?
Let me check my watch here.
Yeah, that's right.
But it could be, though. I mean, this could be like as big as, I don't know, up there with the Babies, up there with Aerosmith. It could be up there, couldn't it? I mean, really.
We're hoping, right?
That's awesome.
Tony's got a great view on this. I like what he always says. Tony, tell him what you think about this band and what we're going to do.
I think this band is just incredible. Are you kidding?
Tony's always the one. He's always saying. I think he said. Can you hear us, Tony? You all right?
He's on a delay, I think.
Oh,
just smile, Tony. Just smile.
Just smile. Go,
You look great.
I'm just going to
go like this.
Send some sticks.
Tony always says. I love it when he talks about this, because we're all very passionate about this band, but when Tony talks about it, it's beautiful, because he just says, look, we've all been there, done that, and this is five guys that aren't doing this just to have this, because we have to. It's because we want to, and the passion is there. And this is the thing that, we always make sure people know, this isn't a project. This isn't, a couple guys throwing a few songs around. This is a band. We treat this as a organization, a band. We're a business. This is what we do. This is what we all do now,
Cool. Because that's the thing. I mean, you're out like hitting the stage regularly, aren't you? I mean, you've just done a load of dates, and then I think you've just added some more dates as well. That's just phenomenal, isn't it, really? I mean, I'm a little bit younger than you guys, I think, just a little bit. But I ache all the time and struggle to get out of bed, man. How do you manage to do this?
Hey, man, Trace, he's down in my lower left corner, but you talk about the energy, Energizer Bunny, that's him right there.
right.
Yeah, I've always found that I walk 6 miles a day, and I just walk 6 miles today, and I just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I find that if you have something to keep you going, again, it's a passion. I'm very passionate about what I do. I can be a real jerk about it too. And I just, it's fun because we're all in the same, we also have something to prove because we still can, and we figure we got to do it while we still can. Like you said, one day we're going to wake up and not be able to get out of bed,
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it's similar to when you raise kids and then they leave the house. Then all of a sudden you have, like I've got band friends, musician friends who sort of set everything aside and until the kids left the house. And then all of a sudden they're back out playing again. Well, we all have our other gigs that we've had forever.
Yeah.
And in my situation, the gig, with Cheryl, I still play with Cheryl, but her schedule has sort of stepped back a bit, it's just over time, and it allows plenty of time for this. And that's my personal situation to where, we get to be as creative as we want, and why not make the absolute most of this? You can't do it halfway. I mean, it's for one, it's too expensive to do it halfway. You've got to be fully vested and jump right in. And plus, we just 100% believe in this thing. So,
and we are like kindred spirits, man. We are like of one. It's really weird. We all come from different backgrounds. We have different likes. But when we're in the same room, it all fits like a puzzle. I mean, it's amazing. Every one of us have that little bit that they bring to the table. It's like the perfect soup. You know, you go, oh, it needs a little bit of a sprinkle of this, and we got that person to sprinkle that on there. You know, it's just it's pretty incredible.
Cool. So is Cheryl a fan then?
Yes. Yeah, she is. She came to see our show in Nashville.
Oh, so cool. Okay.
Here's a funny story for you. So we played in Nashville, and Hugh, the bass player for Bon Jovi, came to the show.
All right.
And he come backstage, and me and Tom are standing there, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, that show was amazing." He goes, "I just want you to know, I would kill to be in this band." And I go, "You know, it would be Tom that you'd have to kill, right?" Tom was like, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right." I was like, "That's easy."
Maybe not.
Amazing. Like,
so we were talking about the recent release. I really love Sound of a Train. I think that's cool. I like the video for that as well. Back when in the 80s and that, did you ever think you'd still be going at the grand old age you guys are now? Did you think you'd still be here doing what you do, what you love, your passion?
Well, Aerosmith was split in half for 4 years. And sorry about my throat.
That's right, Tom.
I'm doing my best. But by the grace of God, we got back together. And once that happened, I stopped thinking about, there coming there a day coming where we would be together. I just, took it day by day.
day by day, correct.
Yeah.
I can see if you're in Aerosmith, I bet you don't wake up and go, "I'm feeling old today." I bet you've never said that ever.
Nothing.
You probably said, I don't even want to repeat what you probably said when you wake up.
I tell you, all I had to do was keep going to Rolling Stones concerts.
Right.
And I'd see those guys and I go, damn, they're still doing it on the Bridges to Babylon. No, Voodoo Lounge tour first. I went, damn, they're still doing it. Then the Bridges to Babylon tour, we actually, with Cheryl, toured with them across the UK. We played at Wembley Stadium with them. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, they're still doing it, And here we are. We're still saying, damn, they're still doing it. Well, hell, I can do it too.
What are we supposed to do, though? People really, people say all these bands that are older, they should just give it up. It's like, well, it's like me going to your job and saying,
they're jealous.
Give it up.
These guys are also spoiled. They don't realize how hard it is to get a group of guys that are all great in a room together. As you get older, the responsibilities start happening, and the bass player has kids and gets out, or you change drummers 5 times, and you start to lose the fun of it all. So to be able to kind of have all of these guys in one room together, you got to capitalize on it. You know what I mean? Because it's an honor to have the experience in the room, and the fact that we're just that lucky to have everybody that's just so great. Usually, you'll put a band together and we're like, yeah, we got a great guitar player. But everybody else is kind of like, well, I work at the 7-Eleven next door, or, I'm bagging groceries or whatever. It's just so hard to stay in the music industry and to be able to survive and to be, feeding your talent like that. I mean, it's incredible. These guys have had such an incredible career alone. That's where I'm at on it. In the 80s, I hadn't even gotten started yet. I think I got signed in 93.
Did you? Right.
But these guys were off and rolling and, making records and setting records. And it's just an honor to be in the same room with the experience, as you can imagine.
The 80s was the best time for music and the time to be alive. And it was rock and roll, metal, debauchery, wasn't it? And it was, amazing time. Have you all calmed down then, guys? Yes or no? TV shaking his head saying no.
Tony, have you calmed down?
Dress like women.
Tom, I daren't ask you too much about Aerosmith in the 80s, to be honest with you. These some amazing albums, though. So cool. So going back to Close Enemies, then you would have been asked this shed loads, but are there plans to release an album this year?
Yes.
Can you give us a bit of info about that? Any ideas? What's
I got it, guys. I'll take it. October 3rd, the whole album will come out. And then we just found out we are going to be playing at the Stone Pony in New Jersey, and we're going to actually do a record release party there. We've already kind of talked about it.
Cool.
You should probably fly over and bring all your friends.
Definitely, yeah. I might bring my Ukrainian girlfriend with me and say, "Look,
there you go." She's going,
oh yeah.
So yeah, people have been. That's like our most asked question. You're right, and
I'm sorry.
Just found out. No, it's okay. I mean, I get it. I mean, you have to ask, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, someone's going to comment and go, "When's the album
It
coming?"
really shows a music lover too, because it's old school, and people don't listen to albums that way anymore. They just they're single oriented, or they're streaming this or that, or watching 5 seconds of something and dumping it. So the fact that people are asking for an album and want the full experience is pretty cool.
And they want vinyl, which is cool too.
Vinyl in a big way. Vinyl's come back so much, hasn't it? Sorry, my pussycat who likes to make an appearance has just arrived.
Oh, right on.
Oh, I get
It's
it. You got cat families around here. They're going to love it.
This is Tabitha, yeah. Every time I do, not every time, I do interviews and she'll make an appearance. So, right, we go. A bit of English pussy for you. Meow.
Pretty kitty.
We have 3 cats. Tom has a couple, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely pussycat mad. And being in Aerosmith, I know you are too.
I bet you've never been asked that, have you, Tom? Ooh.
All right, and so playing live is obviously your guys' lifeblood, and it must be so pleasing then to see the new songs that you've done it with Close Enemies getting such a good reception. I'm guessing live. Obviously, I've not seen you live. How does that feel?
Yeah, very annoying. Yeah. We started out, nobody had heard any of our songs. Now, a few people have heard them because we put them out one by one. But, yeah, we've just gotten great reviews and a great response from the fans. Very inspiring.
It really is, man.
They're singing. You can see him singing back to us now on a lot of songs, which is really cool. I mean, that's really neat.
And that's including the ones that haven't been released yet. It's just in this day of YouTube, other live shows are on there and people already know the songs that we haven't even put out there yet.
I had to ask a guy in the front row what chord was next once. What's the bridge? I'm old. I forgot.
Tom and Tony know how it feels from their bands, but for me, it's, believe it or not, it's kind of a first for me,
right,
to experience it. And so, it's very rewarding to say the least. Yeah.
It's rewarding to look over and see everybody with a smile on their face because, it's that project. When you're a kid, you have to build like the volcano project for school or whatever, you bring it in and then you light it up and the whole class goes, ooh, ah, and you go, all right, I did it. It works. And that's kind of what we did when we put this music together. We're like, wow, we hope it works. We didn't know. Then we played live and, Rain was our first song and, there's that stop in it. So we get to that stop part. It's not the end of the song. It's the outro part, and all of a sudden people start cheering. Like, no, wait, there's more.
More, yeah.
And then they went crazy. We're like, we've been smiling ever since.
The first show was in Nashville too. It was not the easiest place to do a show. You got a bunch of industry guys with, let's see what we got here. And then, about 3 songs in,
going on.
About 3 songs in, you see the drinks raising and the arms uncrossed. You're like, all right, we got them.
Cool.
We win.
So are there hopes then to get across the pond? Will that happen, do you think, next year?
I hope so.
Hope so.
I mean, on Spotify, it shows us our big audiences, because you can see like where people are listening. And we have South American, Mexico, all that. That seems to be our biggest audience other than the States. And then after that, it's the UK. So, I mean, it'd be great if we could team up with somebody and come over there and, festivals especially. If you got any connections on the festivals, make some calls. That's what we need.
When you're out on stage, is there still a moment when you're playing a certain song from your catalogue that you think, wow, and gives you goosebumps to see the crowd reaction?
Probably Rain for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rain's one of them because it's very deep. That song's very deep, and I think people are starting to really figure it out, and it's.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with Sound of a Train, but it's very much like Rain, where it has all these, corners that you're not expecting and fun places that it goes. But just that being the first song that got me into this experience with these guys, it just will always kind of remind me of that first phone call.
Oh, hello!
There you go.
Oh, beautiful! Oh, oh!
I don't got a cat with me.
You don't got a cat with you.
I'm somewhere.
You're here, aren't you? Oh no!
There you go.
I have.
Suddenly they spiral downward.
Yes. All right.
That's
So
awesome.
I see, you're playing. Your final show is going to be at the Whiskey A Go Go, which was a place I always wanted to go, especially in the 80s. How special is that a venue for you guys? I mean, obviously, there'll be many places you've played, but is the Whiskey as famous and as a special place for you guys?
I think every one of us has probably played there. I mean, I've played there a lot.
I've never played there.
You've never played there, really?
Never been there.
Tom's played there once. I played there like 3 times. I lived in Hollywood for 20 years, so that's probably why I played there more. 5 times, Tony? Okay.
This would be my second.
There you go.
Wow. So
But it is iconic, man. I remember going the first time. I remember sitting in the dressing room by myself and just thinking, who has been in this dressing room? This is wild, Just
And I bet the beer they spilled is still on the floor because
Yeah.
my feet are stuck to the floor.
Oh yeah, your elbows will stick to the counters. That's when you know you're in the right spot.
It
Oh,
smells like
definitely,
1968 in there.
The only band that I wouldn't want to be thinking about that played there in the dressing room would be probably Motley Crue.
I knew you were going to say that.
Right? Who knows
I'd
what
probably
they left
just be
behind.
like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah, who knows what they left behind for sure.
Yeah. I just got the image in my head now from that film. They didn't know. Yeah. Right. So talking about those guys, do you think rock and roll can still be dangerous in these days?
Good question.
Not from us, I don't believe.
We might break something.
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question. I mean,
Yeah, I think it can be. I think to me, rock and roll is not giving a shit is part of it. And just, attitude, it's just, why would you want to give up on that? Why would you want to become complacent? There's always some reason, to show that energy or, and however it manifests itself, get your feathers ruffled, whatever, and bring it out in a song, or just that kind of energy. And I think we all just have it. I mean, the way Tony plays, oh my God,
It is the best way to bring out a message. If you think about it, it's probably one of the only things left in this world that can bring, people on other sides of the fences to the same room, and in harmony, and it could actually cheer for the same thing. It's become such a divided world we live in, but music continues to be able to let you ruffle feathers and have a voice, and
believe me, there's plenty of music out there where you go,
I know.
yeah.
take a nap to, and so I feel like with this band, we're sort of once again able to get it out of our system.
And we're not trying to break new ground. We're not trying to be like, we know we're not going to be multi-gazillionaires from this. What we're doing is we're just showing what we love. We're just carrying on because we know that there are still people out there that, that want to hear it. And as long as, like Tom said in an interview one time, he said, look, as long as people show up, so will we. That's the way we'll keep putting songs out. We'll keep putting records out, whatever it takes. That's because that's what we do.
Absolutely. Well, you never know. You might be gazillionaires from this. You might be. You could
There you
have
go.
It could happen.
There you go. You said it here first. I love it.
Hey, I'll walk out to that mailbox. I have no problem.
That's right, baby. Your gold-plated mailbox. Actually, I'll have some people carry me on my throne out to the gold-plated mailbox.
Totally. All right. And so, do you guys then feel like survivors, storytellers, or rebels these days?
Ooh, that's good. Okay, we've never been asked that before. We should all do that one.
God, there's
Jason, what do you-
there's a little bit of all those in everybody. You know, there's a survivor in all of us. There's a
Survivor,
storyteller.
Tom. Yeah, Tom's. Yeah,
I'd say storyteller as well.
We have 2 survivors for sure.
Survivor. Yeah.
I'll say storyteller.
Yeah.
We start. I think we all started as rebels, though. I think you too, because there's a reason we do what we do. None of us punch time clocks and sit in an office all day long. I would kill somebody if I had to do that. I would lose my job in 2 days, you know, and probably be arrested for punching somebody in the face because that's not what any of us do. We're just special, different people. That's, you know, so we were probably all rebels at first, but you know.
Mine is attitude, I guess. I can put on a bad attitude if I'm not careful.
There you go.
I wish your TV could join in. I don't know why. It's a shame you can't join in, TV. Your sound's gone off now. It says ask to unmute. Hang on.
Unmute your microphone, Tony.
No.
He's playing with it.
It's all right. He's sitting there looking pretty.
There he goes.
Still good. You back?
There you
Are you
go.
back?
Are you a rebel or are you a survivor?
I think I'm a survivor, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I didn't think I'd be doing it, but I feel like I'm getting better, so I'm not giving up yet. Look out.
The guy that does the best drum solo you've ever seen during the encore. Who does that and just nails it every night? He gets stronger throughout the show. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what's in your water.
It's just fun to play loud.
Fun to play loud.
Playing loud. It is fun, right?
Totally.
It's called not playing in Glasgow with Rod Stewart like I used to.
There you go.
Are you still
Good
in
man.
touch with Rod Stewart?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
a legend, isn't he? How's he? Another one who's still going so strong. And the other thing, I often have this conversation with you musicians, right? You've all got hair still, and I haven't. What's going on there? Why?
That's why we're musicians. We have to be.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a wig then.
You got to.
I woke up musician.
You got to stop having the cat lick your head.
Yeah, this is it. Too much pussy on my head. No, I don't even go there.
We just took a left turn at Albuquerque, boys.
Time's running down, apparently. So, this is. If you can each tell us if there was a made-up song, like totally made-up song about your personality, what would it be called?
Oh, wow.
Made up, meaning fictional.
Yeah, fictional, right? Yeah, about your personality.
Misunderstood.
Oh, that's a good one. little Mr. Misunderstood.
Yeah.
Huh. That's a good one, Peter. What's yours? I bet you got a good one.
Give me a little minute. Give me a minute.
All right.
You go ahead.
Oh gosh.
I'm drawing a blank.
Tom, what was yours?
Drawing a blank. There's a good song.
I know what Tom. Tom,
That's
I got
it.
yours. Do you have one? If not, Tom, I have yours.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. I was going to go with Tom
Love
as Mr. Least fucked up on all of them. But you said it.
But fictional. So that's
Oh,
the
fictional. Yeah. Okay. We got to
Yeah.
make it. Fictional. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Fictional's tough.
let's see. Oh shoot. I don't know.
Trace likes
Pilot.
comic
Pilot.
comic pilot.
Yeah.
we probably should have done each other's. Jason, what do you got?
I have no idea. I'm thinking comic book for you since you're a comic
Oh
book
yeah,
guy.
man. I'm a comic book nerd, so they're trying
Hi.
to tie me into being a nerd. Yeah, I'm like a superhero, I guess. Music
Cool.
super.
Music superhero. That's cool.
Oh, I know what I'd be. I'd be a weightlifter.
There we go. Yeah, cool.
I'm thinking motorcycle rider, maybe.
Ah, there you go. Biker.
Biker.
Look at Tom. Look at that.
Yeah.
Cool. Loving it. And I've seen Tom's pussy, so I'm happy.
That's good. He hasn't had that out in a long time, you know.
Right. We're nearly out of time, guys. So I want to thank you so much for your time. I hope that you do get over to the UK. I would love to come over to the States one day, but I probably wouldn't come back. But anyway, do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
We're ready. We're ready to get there. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be it. I can't wait for us to come to the UK because I love playing over there. I love
Help us save rock and roll.
We were told when this band first got together, when we were searching out management and record labels and all that stuff, they all said that our biggest markets will be in Europe and the UK. They just seem to think that this music really holds more of rings of more true to that demographic, and I think so too. I mean, we've all been there and love it. I think that it would be a really cool thing. So we are very excited, and we keep going. When we going? We're ready to go.
Amazing. Thank you, gents. Thank you for your time today.
Have you lost your life?